We can fight our desires, but when we stop making fires, we can.
Stalin did not trust anybody while in power, even his fellow communists. During this time, Stalin was responsible for nearly 20 million deaths in the Russian population. Among them was Vladimir Lenin's highly esteemed officer Leon Trotsky, and almost all of the Communist Party that had helped Stalin rise to power. During this time period, Joseph Stalin created a totalitarian state in Russia. This began by first destroying Lenin's new economy plan. All factories and plots of land were taken back by the government, and all businesses privately owned became government-run. Stalin reintroduced collective farming, a system of farming where hundreds of families live and farm off of the same plot of land. All crops produced go to the government, who divides them equally among the population. This reign of total control focused on terrorizing the citizens, especially the kulaks and highly religious people. Kulaks were wealthy peasant farmers who became very aggravated at the start of collective farming. The kulaks lost all the land that had been inherited or worked for, plus they did not have the chance to make a profit on any crops produced. Also, the Communist Party condemns religion. The people of Russia tended to be loyal to the Russian Orthodox Church. Stalin created a government-sponsored group of atheists to persuade people out of believing in religious superstitions, as he called them, and into believing firmly in the values and ideals of communism. But how did Stalin turn into such a maniacal dictator? Well, let's find out. Roll the clip.
Stalin's early life. Stalin was born in Couris, Georgia on December 21, 1879. He was the son of a bootmaker and a washer. After all of his other siblings died of bad health, his mother was very protective of him. Stalin was abused as a child by an alcoholic father and resulted in him abusing millions as an adult. At age 7, Stalin got smallpox, leaving scars on his face, causing classmates to call him Pocky. Stalin studied at the Tiflis Academy of Theology, where he received a full scholarship. He was first introduced to Karl Marx's idea of communism when he joined the secret organization, the Mesmidasi. In 1889, he was kicked out of the academy for disrespecting school authority and reading forbidden books. In 1901, Stalin joined the Social Democratic Labor Party, where he organized industrial resistance to Tsarism. In 1902, Stalin was arrested for coordinating a strike at the Rothschild plant in Vadum. After 18 months in prison, Stalin was deported to Serbia. Once he escaped, he continued to organize demonstrations. Bolshevik leader Vladimir Lenin was impressed with Stalin's movements against the Tsar, and the two met in Finland in 1905. Rise to power. Stalin began as a follower of Lenin, attending the 5th Congress of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party in 1907 in London alongside Lenin. Having practical experience and being useful to the party, Stalin gained a place in the Central Committee by 1912, and with that position came a flood of popularity. When in 1924, when Lenin died, Stalin then began his political movement forward, knocking competitors out of the way and crushing anyone who would be considered competition. This includes Lenin's right-hand man and originally expected successor, Leon Trotsky. Trotsky was banished by Stalin to Mexico, then later murdered there by a man supporting Stalin.
On March 5, 1953, in Moscow at the age of 73, Stalin died from a cerebral hemorrhage, which is a sort of brain attack. He was 73 years old. If he hadn't died from the illness, he would have died from other causes soon, undoubtedly. Many doctors were planning to assassinate him while his old age slowed his senses. His last act was raising his left arm into the air, pointing at the ceiling. His daughter interpreted this as placing a curse on everyone in the room. Once his body had been prepared for preservation, he was temporarily put on display in the Hall of Columns. So many people went to see his body that 500 people died, just from being trampled, choked, or thrown against the walls from the density of the crowd. And so, the reign of Stalin ended.